Now, if I've got that FHA buyer and that just makes sense for them because they're keeping money to invest in the house
strategy
after,
behind
there's
it.
a strategy behind it.
Yeah.
Help me understand the strategy. Because my question when I'm on the listing side is I want to know that if we hit a bump in the road, do you have the ability to overcome it? If you've got 3.5% down, you're going to have zero in reserves when it's all said and done. We have no room for error. We have no room for the appraisal to come in low. If there's an appraisal issue, I'm fixing it. Right.
So I'll give you the real time example of what happened. So it was 10% and 10% FHA conventional. The only reason we went FHA for this buyer is because they had a 678, and conventional mortgage insurance, once you start getting below 680, it's terrible. So we crunched the numbers and we learned, hey, this FHA mortgage is going to be way more strategic for you than the conventional. I shared that with the listing agent. She goes, like, that made me feel way more comfortable that this is a strategy as opposed to necessity.
No, that's a good point, because I get those calls a lot, from listing agents that maybe they're submitting an FHA loan. And I can't obviously coach the listing agent as to what to ask, but if I did in this setting, it would be, why are they doing FHA and were there other options available to them? Without getting very particular and violating someone's privacy. Because what I've been able to say in the past was like, yeah, they actually were approved for conventional financing and FHA. This makes more sense for them because the interest rate's so much better. I remember at one of the places I used to work, we had an FHA first-time home buying loan, where the company I worked for paid for closing costs if they did FHA loan. You know what I mean? So, and when I was able to tell that to the listing agent, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well then but that's a different conversation than, no, the only way we're going to be able to do this is if they do an FHA loan."
Yep.
And then you kind of are like, well, okay, let's talk through that a little bit more, because to your point is, if there is going to be an issue, does everything have to work exactly like this, or we're not going to be able to do it? Or do we have wiggle room here or there, whatever it is,